How long is it going to take before you get me results? And generally, again, rule of thumb, so a couple factors, like how much are we spending? Can I do something that's kind of unorthodox?
Yeah.
You know how you said that stuff around repetition? I just want to show the camera something because this is how many takes it took. Rolling?
Yeah.
Testing. Very good. Okay, cool.
This is a first official guest that we have on this podcast, hey Jerome. So welcome.
Nabil. It's an honor to be here, mate.
Thank you for coming out, and I'm actually really excited to hear your side of the story because I'm a nerd for marketing at the moment. I don't know how and when it happened, and having you as one of the first guests to come on is actually really cool because you've been doing some of our marketing, especially on the Google side of things, and seeing the results come in makes you really think about like, why am I not putting some more money behind this, right?
Yeah. It's an honor to be here because I think we work really well together. You know, you do a lot of the video, a lot of the creative. And when you look at performance marketing these days, it's paramount to getting a good result online. You know, I think gone are the days where you can just run ads with basic graphics and just tell people what you do. I think nowadays, more and more, as we're seeing with people spending more on ads and seeing more ads, the storytelling piece is so important and getting people to build an affinity with your brand. And I think you guys do an excellent job at that. So when you work together on partner deals and working on campaigns together, the content that you supply us works, you know, significantly better than prior.
I'm flattered, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, let's go there. I love that you mentioned that you definitely need the creative to get a really good ROI for PPC, for any sort of marketing, right? What's the landscape looking like at the moment? Thinking about the use of AI, the use of videos, like static posts doesn't seem to be working all that much anymore. Tell me about it.
Great question. So I think if you look at performance marketing as like a spectrum, some of the key elements to getting an outcome online, particularly for like lead-based businesses or service-based, but even product as well these days, you've got like a website, and then you've got all of these different channels that you can drive people to that website to take an action. So one of the big ones is obviously social media, Google ads, you've got YouTube, Spotify, and a whole plethora. There's like 22 different things online that you can do. The ones that work the best for us as an agency and with the clients that we work with, obviously everybody's different, but Meta is fantastic. And so with Meta, Facebook and Instagram, 10, 15 years ago, you could run ads with a graphic post, talking more like 5-10 years ago, I should say. But that's been so saturated now.
Yeah.
Super saturated. And I think you can't even go down the route of doing the hard sell anymore if you haven't put the hours and the work in creating really good content.
Yeah.
So that's one side in terms of getting the traffic to come to your website and the importance of having really good creatives and video content especially. But even when they do land on that website, how do you take a website that converts traffic at 5% to 10%? Because you're not going to have to do anything with your marketing. If you just optimize the landing page experience, you can significantly get a better outcome.
Well, I will actually give you a testament for this one because you did that for me. You're like, nothing's happening at the moment. We're sending traffic to your website. No one's actually looking to do anything with it.
Yeah.
And the moment, and I'm going to looking at directly at the camera here because this is something that I actually saw myself. The moment that you guys implemented a landing page, something that was very specific to, specific to what people wanted, instantly we saw the leads coming in. So that was actually quite fascinating for me because one of the things that and I'm sure that a lot of businesses that have never done any marketing have seen as well, is that they are so reluctant to put like a huge budget behind marketing.
Yeah.
Right. Because they don't know what that lead generation looks like. They don't know what a tap of lead coming to your business looks like.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
I think a lot of people are in that same boat, especially if you haven't done it before. But I always suggest, particularly for those businesses that haven't done marketing before, like Google ads or Facebook ads, start small. Figure out what works.
What's small?
It varies from different business to business, so I won't throw out a number, but generally you do need around 2,000 to 3,000 a month on Meta to drive enough traffic to the website to get a meaningful outcome. But the number that I'd rather share with you is, depending on your business size, you should be investing between 5 to 15% of your revenue into marketing. And that encompasses everything from—
That's top line?
Top line.
Okay.
Yeah. So 5 to 15%, 5% if you're conservative and you're kind of happy with where you're at, and then 15% if you're actively trying to grow and expand. So it does vary between business to business, but a general rule of thumb, between 5 to 15% of all your revenue should be allocated towards marketing.
I mean, I don't mind talking about my numbers because this is something that people want to see. Like if you talk and if you actually say, it depends on this, it depends on that, it's hard
Absolutely.
for you to actually get people to be invested in what you say, right?
Cool.
So if I was to share my numbers, right, I spend about $2,000 a month. And this is very conservative, right? And I'm only looking for about 2 to 3 high quality leads, and I'm getting that, right?
Yeah.
When I say 2 to 3 high quality leads, it really depends. I say depends, but it really depends on what ticket items you have.
Gotcha.
So if you're like a e-com company, for example, who have a ticket item of like $20, you want to have a massive amount of leads.
Yeah.
Whereas a company like mine, I deal in a 4-figure kind of products, so I want to have 2 to 3 leads, which can potentially generate about $15,000 to $20,000 a month, kind of thing, right?
Yeah. So it's obviously dependent on the business itself.
Yeah.
But just to loop back, we're spending $2,000 a month on Google Ads for AIM visuals.
Yep.
Prior to the landing page, prior to the design which used video effectively across that page, we got 2 to 3 leads. And I remember the first 2 months, I was sweating, you were sweating. Every call I was like, shit, man, what am I going to say next?
No, I was getting ready to pick up the phone like, Nabil, I don't want to work with you anymore, mate.
There you go. So we're all back at the drawing board thinking, what are we going to do to fix this? And one of the most interesting things we sort of learned from that exercise was the traffic's being driven. We're making every optimization under the sun to get a good outcome. But when they land on the page, they're not converting. So we had gone from 2 leads to 13 from our last catch up. Yeah. Cheaper cost per acquisition, better quality leads because of all of those optimizations now coming to fruition. But that's the power of getting a really good creative and tailored messaging to your audience to land on your website and convert.
Is there a rule of thumb when you think about, okay, well, how long do I need to stay with a marketing company before I call it quits?
Fong, this question I get like every single new customer we work with. How long is it going to take before you get me results? And generally, again, rule of thumb. So a couple factors, like how much are we spending, which means how quickly can we test? Have you done this before? Is there any historical data that we can leverage to guesstimate where we're going to be? But the general rule of thumb is 90 days.
Okay.
And the reason I say 90 days is 3 months gives us enough time to see what traffic's coming in. What are they doing? Which keywords are they coming from? Which avenues are they coming from? Come back to you and go, what are the quality of these? Are they converting? Are they not converting? Are they the wrong size type client? Are they different industry that we need to focus on? And then make those optimizations. And generally by 90 days, if you've got a budget and everything's sort of teed up, you should be getting a result.
I think there's a missing piece to that as well. It's
Hit
like,
me.
do you? Huh?
Hit me with it.
Okay,
What's
I
the
think
missing
it's
piece?
definitely mindset as well. The mindset of like, I am willing to put money out there just to test things out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think many businesses, especially small ones, forget that. Forget that you have to, and if you stay still, nothing's going to happen. If you're refusing to spend money and testing, like hire the right person or testing out like a different company or a different new strategy for your marketing, you're never going to get anywhere. And I think having a mindset of like, okay, cool, I am willing to lose this money. And I'm confident that despite this, something's going to happen. Even if I don't learn anything, I know that this is not going to be for me.
Yeah, you're going to test whether or not it works. So you can go to iteration B, iteration C. Fung, can I ask you a question? Am I allowed to do this?
Yeah, send it, man.
Okay, cool.
It's an open forum, yeah.
Cool. So we do a lot of ads, right? We spend, share numbers, 80 to 100K a month on Meta across a bunch of different accounts. And I've got my views on what I think is working well from like a video perspective and creatives. But I'm keen to learn from you, being the chief in videography here.
Okay.
What are you seeing to be more effective these days? What's changed? Or what are you seeing that's working really well?
There is a book framework, and the book is called They Ask You Answer. And I think this is one of the frameworks I actually learned from one of my clients, right? Doing a lot of the podcasts, understanding what marketing is like, what to do with video, right? One of the questions that Jerome and I had when we first started this company together was the fact that we asked this question, like, what do we do with videos? How do we measure the ROI? Right? If we shoot this video and make it look pretty, make it look sexy, like have all these different transition in it, have a model in it, like how do you actually measure the ROI behind that? How do we get leads? How do we get sales? And the book, They Ask You Answer, is a framework that we use here at AM Visuals to create content for people, because we know that this framework works in terms of content. And this content can then be used with you guys in PPC, because we know that the content works. People want to know about it. So it's so much easier to put some money behind it and spread it to like-minded people. Anyways, the framework that this framework is actually one of the things that you want to do as a business for videos, for video content specifically. It's actually asking the questions to your clients. What do they want to know, right? And it's usually, what are the costs? What's your problem with your products? What are the benefits of your products, right? Who's used it? What are the comparison? And all these type of questions are usually what people would ask if they're ready to buy from you, or they want to actually find out about your products, right? So if you really think about that and you create content in that fashion, 9 times out of 10, it's going to work for you. And we've actually tested this out on 4 of our clients.
Wow.
Right.
So basically answering people's questions around a particular product or service. So very educational, informative.
Exactly. Yeah. Just to give you an example. So the last, and we did this for free, and for our good client at DeLonghi, we did this for free. We got him to do an event here at our office just to teach people about coffee. Yeah. Right. Just so that we can actually create some content for them. And in this one particular post, 30-second post, talking about the pressure of tamping coffee, right? You know, when you're pressing the coffee down, and to see like how much force you actually need to press down.
Is that why these coffees taste so good?
I learned exactly from that post. Thanks, DeLonghi. Thanks, Cheryl. I'm going to tag Cheryl on this one. But that particular post got over 200,000 views.
200,000?
200,000
Was there any ad spend behind that?
No.
That was organically?
All organic, right?
There you go.
And it's because it created some tension for people, because some people have different opinions about it, right? But because she was so sure of herself, she knew she's been a barista for like what 10, 15 years or something like that. She knew that this is right, because the coffee that she makes comes out great every single time. So why would she not be confident of herself and actually put that out there? Now imagine if you put that some PPC behind that. Like some budget behind that. Yeah,
if you put it behind paid ads across Meta, or even used it to convert people that landed, I think it goes a really long way.
Yeah,
I find that really interesting. So educational and informative content are sort of the 2 things that you're finding to work the best to get an outcome online.
Yeah, there's a new format that's called edutainment. And you're actually doing this. You actually, if you go check out Nabil's page and PowerMove's page, they're actually doing this as well. They did a post recently where the character, his name's Alex, right? Yeah. The character has forgotten who he was, so he had to go see the doctor, who is Nabil, to remind him what was it again? What was
the whole skip behind it was he's going crazy because he's not getting his marketing down pat. And so I sit there in a doctor's office with him and just remind him, this is who you are, this is what you've done.
Yeah.
And at the end, we put a call to action at the end of it. And I find that edutainment thing to work really well in our industry because of our target audience, you know, and our competitors, I should say. When you think digital marketing agency, I think 2 things come to people's mind. A cowboy, they don't really know what they're talking about. They're going to come high churn rate, just churn and burn. And the second is a hard sell. We got this client, 50,000 results. We're going to do the exact same for you. We're going to yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
People are sick and tired of it, and people don't respond to it. And so what we're trying to do now is almost double barrel the content. Firstly, in the sense of how do we get people to just like us, right? To trust us, to build an affinity to us.
I think you're pretty likable, Nabil. You're doing all right, mate.
Oh my God. And then the second part is how do we encourage them to actually get in contact?
Okay.
And you did a video about this recently where you were like, everyone's going insane trying to go viral, but viral doesn't actually move the needle in your business. But I think if you can couple those together, get people to watch the video so you've got a really high engagement rate, you're not spending too much in terms of getting views, and you're driving people to your website or your page from that content, but also giving them a clear course on how they're going to get in contact with you and an action at the end. That's so much more valuable. I'd rather 1,000 of those people watch my video than get 100,000 people that are considered ghost followers or people that have just viewed the video because we're not going to get an outcome out of it.
Yeah.
So the edutainment piece is is really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's super important. I think there's a stat out there where I think 10% of your buyers are ready to go, but 90% of them are like you're missing the mark, right? So if you're not sort of educating them through your content, through your blogs, through whatever means of content that you can actually do out to put out there, it's going to be hard to tap into that 90% of your customer base, right?
100%.
Yeah.
You don't get everybody that's hot to trot and ready to go. You might even speak with someone that says, I like what you're saying, but we're just not ready for it. And you've got probably, 95% of your followers or people that watch your content that might be considered a customer, but not today.
Yeah.
So you got to like continuously churn them. And so that content piece, when you're thinking about, what type of content do we need? And we talk about this all the time, man. Customers will be like, and this is before we flick them over to you, but clients will generally say, what type of content do we post? What type of content is going to get us an outcome on Facebook and Instagram?
Yeah.
And the way that I like to think about it is, touch on your point, the educational piece, the informative piece, a piece I like to include around brand. So to actually let people understand the differences between yourselves and competitors. And then also generally, and again, it differs from business to business, but case studies. How did you work with somebody else that a customer or potential customer can look at it and go, they had the same challenge as me and this company solved it. Yep. That relatability goes a long way. And I include one thing at the end that's kind of dumb, but the miscellaneous entertainment style stuff.
Yeah.
So if you can do all of those really well, you're positioning the business from a lens where people are going to follow you. They're going to stay engaged with your account. They're not going to bounce and leave. And when you get to the point that you're ready to start putting some paid media behind it, you've got audiences that are warm.
Now, here's the problem I see. You can tell them all to do all these contents, right? But one of the biggest barriers to content is people being shy in front of a camera.
How do you overcome that, Fong?
Well, I wanted to ask you these questions. Like, have you had this problem with your clients at all?
I think it comes up from time to time. Again, difference between industry, the personality behind the business owner. If they're big enough, they'll generally just offload it to some of their staff to get behind the camera.
Yeah.
And, they get shy and all the rest of it, and it becomes a difficult conversation to encourage them to do it. But then if you've got results, people go, oh, if it works, it works. Like, I've got to do it. I actually hate being behind the camera. It gets me nervous. I get a bit jittery beforehand.
Yeah.
I get OCD when I'm looking at the content. I don't want to see it. And then my team would just post it and get it out of the way. But when I see that we're getting, 19 leads or 20 leads this week from meta ads because of the video content that I've produced, start rolling again.
Yeah,
like
it's all about confidence, man. It's all about confidence. And I think confidence is something that you can't control, right? The sense of confidence that you get from actually filming yourself and talking in front of a camera, it comes from repetition.
Yeah.
Right. It's about doing the work. It's about finding the stuff that you actually really want to talk about. Right. So think about your business. You know everything there is to know about marketing.
Yeah.
I know everything there is to know about like content marketing. Yeah. Right. So it's about like, okay, this is the stuff that I want to talk about. So this is the stuff that you will only see on my social media channel. Right. I don't talk about my family. I don't talk about what I did yesterday. I didn't have I didn't talk about anything I had for dinner, for example. I'm talking about content marketing, right? Business and content marketing. So it's all about frameworks again, right? So it's about communication framework. And I feel like if you want to do some content, have a look at a guy called Vin Jiang, right?
Vin.
Do you know Vin?
Is he the guy with like the semi-spiky hair?
Yeah, the magician, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, if you watch his content on YouTube and watch his content on Instagram, it's all about like how do you show up in front of a camera? How do you show up in front of people, right? You don't just talk straight off the bat. You really want to know who you want to talk to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's one of the first tips I would actually have for people is that if you want to create content, have in mind who you want to talk to first. Right? And if you don't have someone in mind, talk to yourself 10 years ago, right? What did Fong want to do 10 years ago? He wanted to start a business, right? And how do you start a business? Well, you need to know your products. You need to know to do some marketing. You need to learn how to film with a camera. That's the type of content I'm going to create for Fong 10 years ago, right?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Can I do something that's kind of unorthodox?
Yeah.
You know how you said that stuff around repetition? I just want to show the camera something because nowadays I just pick up the camera, put it in selfie mode, and then just start recording. But that repetition piece, is the camera going to pick this up?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's how many...
Yeah.
like this. This is how many takes it took before I was happy with it. I don't want to show you anything inappropriate here. But all of this, I just kept filming and filming and filming. And that's what I mean again. I got that OCD nature, but the first iteration looked so different to the last iteration. And that's very much like marketing in a sense. You know
Just repetition. Yeah. And to that, like I love the fact that you showed that, because there's probably one framework that I want to share to people if you really think about creating content. And you could use this over and over and over again. It's called the HIVE framework, right?
HIVE.
HIVE.
Okay.
All right. So if you think about content, you start off with the hook, right, to draw people in, right? Then you have introduction, what are you going to be talking about?
Yep.
Right. V is what was V again? I know last one is end screen. So value. V is value. V is value. So what is the value that you want people to walk away from this piece of content?
Yep. And
then lastly, the call to action, which is the end screen, right? So the call to action could be, hey, if you wanted to check out more content like this, come check out my channel. Or
gotcha.
If you're interested in this product, come check out my website, right? Right. That's a call to action. It doesn't always have to be buy from me. It could be go check out this page, go do some homework. And then if you want to know more, come back to me. I've got some more.
So not really focusing too much on the strong sell, but creating a customer, a follower, if you will, where you can nurture them down the track.
That's right. So it's all about value. And one of my things that I say to people is like value, value, value. Like what is the value that you want to provide to people right now? And that's all what content marketing and marketing in general is. Like you want people to get value first before they come and get some more value from you.
Gotcha.
You know
so give them a little bit of value,
yeah.
And then when they come for the full service suite, then you can give them the whole enchilada.
Yeah. What was it? Alex Hormozi say? He says, give people so much value that it makes them feel stupid not to buy from you or something like that.
Oh, beautifully said.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. You know, they did this experiment. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but they did this like 20 years ago where they went to everybody on the street and they said, hey, can you put this massive sign in front of your house? It was for an upcoming election or something like that.
Yeah.
And they had every single person on the street say no. It was a massive sign in the front yard. Everyone was like, no, get lost. They came back the following week and they offered to put a really small sign in front of the house. And everyone said, yeah, it's a small sign. I'll put it there. A week after that, they come back and go, hey, can we now put the big sign? And everybody, or the large percentage of those people, had said yes to the big sign. So the idea is if you give someone a little bit, or you get confirmation and a yes from a little bit, it's much easier to get the yes for the bigger thing. So it's very much to say what you're saying around creating value, where you're giving out bits and pieces, almost like, hey, here's just a thank you for watching me. And then doing it so much that it just makes sense to...
It's a courtship, man. It's a courtship. That's what it is at the end of the day.
I love that.
You know what I
mean?
Yeah. Let's take it to the next level. I want to talk about funnel.
Oh, okay.
I want to talk about funnel because like my understanding of funnel, right? Like, and this is something I've literally just started diving into about 6 months ago. What's your views on funnel and what are some of the most simplest funnel you can actually do for a business right now to get leads?
Great question. I want to talk about two things if that's all right, Fong. First, the most simplest funnel, just to give you a quick answer to that, is building a web page, running some form of ads, whether it be Google, Meta. Once you get them in, using some form of a CRM to nurture them until they close, getting a salesperson involved. But taking it one step further, I talk to a lot of businesses about this, particularly if they haven't engaged with us before, but it's around where do you put your budget? You know, sometimes clients go, hey, I've got 10K a month. What do I do with this budget? And I like to employ this thinking about apples, right? There's a professor named Mark Ritson. I did my MBA in marketing and my MBA in brand management with him. And he was to the thinking that when you're looking at your marketing budget, you've got branding, which is all of the stuff we're talking about today. And you've also got lead generation or sales, where you're wanting people to take an action and you look at that as your ROI channel. And his perspective was, you're meant to invest 60% into the branding and 40% into the marketing. A lot of what we've talked about today around getting people to engage with you, not doing the hard sell, all really talks to the importance of the branding piece. So what I mean by the branding piece is things that talk about your values, what you stand for, what differentiates you from competitors, your story, people behind the business, all of these things where people can understand more about who you guys are and what you do, and only allocating 40% of your total marketing budget to lead generation and sales-based activity. So that should be your Google ads, your Facebook ads, your cold callers, people that are jumping on the phones, and things like that. There we go. Back to that point, Mark Ritson goes, put 60% into brand and 40% into lead gen. I think people miss the whole picture when it comes to the branding side, because it's not sexy. It's not something that you can turn on today and get a quantifiable number in terms of ROI the next month. It's a slow exercise.
It's not just a logo. There's like more to it than
yeah,
that, right?
And like with PowerMove, for example, we spent the first 2 years just producing content. It wasn't the sexiest content. We didn't have budget for someone like yourself, for an amazing videographer, like you, to come in and do this stuff for us. So a lot of that stuff was just, our guys behind on a Canva or a Figma file, just organize, hey, we did this great job. Or we'd go to a client that was doing a shoot and we just do a 10-second snippet before it to say, hey, here's what we're doing. Or showing a client testimonial in terms of like a Google review or something, and just building a bank of content that when you do spend the budget to get somebody to interact with you, you're set up for success. And that's like having a page that's good. That's like having a website that operates well, that loads quickly, that's got all the information there to get people to convert. And most importantly, has got the branded content. So when someone jumps on it and they're looking between you and competitor B, you've got that brand piece done. You're looking human, you're looking approachable, you're looking easy to convert. That these guys, they're not part of the picture anymore. And that part is so important. And I feel like
100%.
A lot of people try to, we need leads, we need sales, we need leads.
Yeah.
Do the hard part first, and the second part becomes significantly easier.
100%. Like I've got a good client of mine called Parker's Blinds and Curtains, right?
Yep.
And we worked with them for 6 months producing an insane amount of content on his Instagram, right? To the point where he started off really shy in front of a camera, but like he ended up being like just the expert, super casual with it, the expert in content. He talks nothing but content now when he talks to me, and he actually even made a separate Instagram page just to document his own story throughout the day. So It's not just about like his business brand anymore. It becomes personal branding as well. And those two actually come hand in hand. But the point I'm trying to make is that he's got so much content that now when he invests some money into the marketing side of things, leads are just pouring through the door. Like he's got so much leads that he doesn't know what to do with, right? And that's a great problem to have. But that comes from actually branding yourself, putting yourself out there, doing some content, some valuable content that people want to consume from your business if you want them to interact with your product and services.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah. Focus on developing a good brand, and the marketing becomes significantly easier if you're looking to get sales, revenue, leads out of it. It's as simple as that.
So coming back to the funnel thing, that's for me, that's the top of the funnel, right?
Yeah.
Right. So doing the branding, doing the content and whatnot. What's the middle of the funnel and what's the end of the funnel in your eyes?
Yeah, great question. So like obviously within your marketing thing, you got top, middle and bottom of funnel.
Tofu, mofu, bofu.
There you go. Yeah. So for people don't understand, top of funnel, bottom of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. It's a really broad question. And every single platform's got different ways of targeting those people. But generally, like top of funnel is awareness stuff. So things like, branding ads, basically getting your name out there to people that you think are going to be audiences or potential customers. So let's say, for example, we're talking about a home builder or someone that, is a builder, I should say. Then they want to target people that have got enough disposable income or are in the market to purchase a new property and build it. Like those are the people that they're going to go after. They have to be a homeowner. They might be aged between 25 to 34. They might live in a certain geography that you want to ring fence. So awareness ads, you show them to those people. That looks like Facebook, Meta, YouTube. Back in the day, like billboards, TV, radio, newspapers. Obviously, things are changing. Middle of funnel is somebody that's interested in your service but hasn't yet connected. So they might have searched for home builder near me, home builder Sydney. Those people are hotter, obviously, and closer towards the bottom of funnel and converting. So utilizing retargeting, utilizing Google ads, Meta ads, those are all perfect platforms for that stage of the funnel. And at the very bottom, you've got bottom of funnel. Those are the sexiest audiences. Those are the guys that
the 10%, right?
The 10%. They've gone top of funnel. They know who you are. They've been on your page. They might have gotten to the contact us page, but not yet pulled the trigger on it. And what are you doing with those guys to really get them over the line to become a paying customer? And so retargeting is a big one, but also Google Ads, because if somebody's in the position to buy, they don't go on Facebook generally to look for the plumber, look for the builder. They go into search and they want to find that. And that's a whole can of worms in and of its own, you know, with ChatGPT, people utilizing AI, people using search, the AI overview in Google. That place is changing a lot. But then you'll do that for the bottom of funnel. And there's one piece that we as an agency started to sort of come around to when actually COVID was coming around. It was really hard to find new customers online for our customers. People weren't spending as much.
Okay.
And everyone was in a very restrictive state, you know, very conservative. And so we introduced something after that called loyalty. How do you keep your existing customers coming back?
Oh, okay.
And so what we did for a lot of the e-com based businesses, let's say you're selling, you know, microphones. I'll say, hey, 2 weeks after they've purchased, we'll target them, whether it be through emails, texts, or Facebook and Instagram ads, saying, we hope you're enjoying your new beautiful black microphone.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
For the next 2 days, refer a friend and both of you can get X% off. So messaging like that to get those people to come back and like keep them at that buying stage. That's what I think a whole funnel should be. But there's one thing that I really want to talk about, because I think it could benefit so many businesses, particularly the SMBs. When it comes to planning your budget, a lot of businesses that I speak to will say, we spent this last year, this is what we're spending this year. And I think that's such a flawed way of looking at where to allocate your marketing funds.
As in they've spent a certain amount last year and they want to decrease the amount this
They
year?
want to keep the exact same amount. Like, this is what we did last year. These are the channels that we used last year. Let's do it again this year.
Okay.
And when end of financial year came around, July, I was having so many of these conversations where, or even if they were coming from another agency or they were managing their marketing in-house, where they'll say, yeah, we've done SEO, Google Ads and Facebook. Can you guys just look after it?
Yeah.
I took one step back and I'm like, why are you doing these channels? And there's a concept called zero-based budgeting where you effectively remove everything you've done before and you build it from the ground up again. You've got and you build it up from the ground up. You look at exactly what each channel is doing for you, where it fits into the bigger picture, and why you should be investing X amount per channel, whether you're looking at a budget resource.
So what you're saying is that people were thinking that, oh, this is working, I'm just going to keep going with it.
It's nonsense.
So, but I can see why they want to keep going, because it's working, right? Why would I want to like knock everything down, rebuild everything back up?
I'm not saying to remove those channels. When I say about knock it down, rebuild it, is you have to take one step back and go, all right, cool. We're not spending anything on marketing. What did we do last year that we're going to do again now? How much budget should go to each platform? And what is each platform giving us?
So re-strategize is what you're saying.
Yeah, re-strategize. Start from the ground and go, all right, cool. We invested X amount into Google last year. What did we get out of Google last year? Do we have to increase or decrease that? Okay. We spent X amount on video. Oh, we actually got a really good outcome. Do we move some budget around to include more marketing budget to video? We're doing a bunch of EDMs, but they didn't really work out. Well, why are we doing it again if we then get the outcome we wanted last year?
Okay.
So just what I mean by zero-based budgeting is you start at zero and you include every single channel or exercise that you're doing from a marketing perspective intentionally.
I can see why this could be complicated though.
Yeah.
I can see why people wouldn't want to do it, because I mean, it requires a lot of effort. Just listening to that, like what I would want to do, just thinking from a strategy perspective here, I would want to look at, is there any new offers that I can actually redo this the marketing side of it, right? So this is what I would suggest, is that if maybe every 3 months, every 6 months, look at your offers, maybe rebuild the offers or add a new offer, so just to test it out to see if this
when
is.
When you say offers, do you mean like the business's offer to their prospect?
Yeah, so and like new products, new services, that kind of thing. That's how I would look at it, because like that's the same problem that I had, right? I was relying too much on word of mouth. And reactive quoting. So, all right, this is what you want. Okay, I think I can work it out for you. As opposed to, all right, I think I've got this offer that could target this kind of people. I'm going to build it out. I'm going to do some marketing behind it, and then see if it's going to work, right?
Fung, I might just ask you, what's been the best sort of offering or the most revised one? Is it where you offer a free consult? Is it where you'll give them a game plan in terms of like a 6-month content shoot? What's been the most successful thing to date? I'm
in the middle of it right now, actually, to be very frank with you. And one of the offerings that we've been neglecting per se is actually the podcast, mate. It's just we've been doing this for 5 years, but now everyone's sort of catching up, and we haven't really like focused on it over the years because we thought, oh, this is probably low level. Nobody wants to do podcasts. It's going to be too expensive for people. But now everyone's sort of in it. So we got to look at, okay, well, how we can actually elevate the game, how we can actually create content at scale, which is still valuable for the customers. So when I think about podcasting, it's not something that is a product in itself, but it's a part of something bigger. So
Gotcha.
Podcasting could mean, all right, it's regular content. Okay, well, what's regular content? Okay, well, let's put the whole they ask you answer framework behind it. Then you can grab all the content from the product and services that you have, which would create like a bank of content for that product and services. And then we can use that to market and see if that's going to work for your brand. So that's what I would actually suggest to some of our customers to think about, like how do we strategically use all these services that you can actually use to create content nowadays.
I love that.
Yeah.
They ask, you answer.
Yeah.
I love it. Cool. Phil, I've got another question for you. Can I ask it?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yes, you can ask.
We talked a little bit about how content creation is changing, what people are wanting more of, and you spoke to me about the they ask, you answer. And one of the other things you spoke about earlier was when you're looking at things like what are we actually getting out of this video, have you got any good case studies outside of the one you've shared where they were doing content their way before, you implemented some of this framework or this thinking behind that framework, and they're getting a great outcome? Like you spoke about DeLonghi. I think that's a fantastic case study. Have you got any others that were maybe service-based businesses, even product-based, anything like that you can share with us?
I think we've been fortunate fortunate to deal with people who actually haven't really looked at content before. They just thought, oh, we're just
Clean
gonna
slate.
so we're just gonna put some money behind like static ads and stuff like that. Which, by the way, surprised me when I started looking into this. And I've met some marketing agencies who don't even do video content, and I'm thinking to myself, really? Are you sure you want to do this? Like, how's this static content been working out for you? And I'm very curious because I don't know. Right. So I've been fortunate enough that the clients that we've been dealing with have been pretty receptive to video. Right. And the way that I like to approach some of my clients is that, one, I vet you. So I want to know who you are as a person. Like for you, like you seem to be opinionated. You know what you talk about. You've got 10. How long you've been in the game?
We're doing it for about 10 years now.
10 years in the game. So if you've got some industry knowledge, you've got some experience behind it, and because of that, you are opinionated, which means that the content that you're going to put out is going to be very focused and very targeted to what you want to talk about, right? Yeah. So that's the type of people that we want to talk to. Right.
Yeah.
If you don't know if you don't know what you don't know, then I'll probably would think about, start documenting your journey, mate, because you never know where you're going to end up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because you got nothing to talk about. Show the process of you learning what to talk about.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, I'm happy to have that conversation. I'll be like, okay, well, this is a strategy you need to implement. You need to start doing this now, because if you get straight into the ads, you're going to waste all your money. Yeah.
I love that. Build your content house first, build your brand, and then start ads, because it makes it a lot easier.
100%, mate.
So, Phil, I'm keen to understand, have you got any case studies where you're working with a business where they were running an older strategy when it came to content, and the aim visuals plugged in, and then what the before and after was? So
there is actually a cool case study that we've been working on, and the client's called Parker's Blinds and Curtains. Great blinds and curtains company, by the way. If you need something like that, I highly recommend them. But the cool thing that we've found with them was the fact that we've actually worked on one account from them, which is the Parker Blinds and Curtains business.
So they've got two businesses.
So we're working for 6-7 months, and we built like a huge library of content, which meant that they could use those content on putting some budget behind it with their marketing, get some pretty substantial lead. That's okay. Leave that in. Substantial lead. Can't talk sometime, right? And he's got another business down the coast where we couldn't actually get there physically because it is quite far away. So we weren't able to create as much content down there, right? And the great thing is, because we have these two accounts, we could see the performance between the two of them. right?
Yeah.
And one account, the one with like the huge amount of content in their library to do all this marketing, managed to get like 10 times more leads than the other 10x more leads than the other accounts, right? And it's because they have this amount of content that they can use to nurture the interaction with their customers before these customers are ready to buy.
I love it.
Yeah.
So they focused on what we're saying, building a house of content and then doing ads to drive
it's
people.
Building a solid foundation before you do all this marketing. And like you said, it's 60% branding and then 40%
on
marketing.
lead gen. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hey, great case study.
We talk extensively on this, man. Is there anything else like you'd like to add to this podcast?
I think we wrapped it up pretty well, man. Like we spoke about the importance of good creatives to get a good outcome online. We spoke about a few different case studies. We spoke about how much you should invest into the brand versus lead gen.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure to be here, man. I think we can do this again sometime soon.
Man, I love that you enjoyed it. And I do have one more question for you.
Sure.
Why PowerMove?
As in why people should work with us?
I know why I'm choosing PowerMove, but why should people choose PowerMove?
Mate, the $1 million question. I think we just do digital marketing really well. We're a small team. We've got 15 staff. We're all about performance. We don't fluff about with like vanity metrics. We put digital into layman's terms and we've been doing it for a really long time. We know our shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're good, we're honest, we work really well with our businesses that we work with, and we like to position ourselves as almost like an extension of their marketing team. We're very hands-on and we want to get to the bottom of things.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Fung. Pleasure to be here, mate.
Cheers.